Howdy everybody, this is Tav here. This is going to be a deck tech of my Rug Pod deck. So just to start off by saying this is a deck list that I actually stole from and modified slightly. It's a deck by Jackie Lee, who writes for TCG Player along with a couple other sites, I believe. So I took this deck and changed it around a little bit. I jokingly call it my budget deck because I made a couple of probably seemingly odd cuts here and there, just based on what I had lying around the house, just to try and save a couple of dollars. But in a lot of places, though, the deck is very original to how she drafted it out and theory crafted it out to be. So, anyways, let's get started over here with the lands. I'm running 23 total lands, 3 mountains, 5 forests, 3 islands. I got a full play set of both the hinterland harbors and the rootbound crags, the blue-green and the green-red, respectively, dual lands. And then I've also got 2 Kessig Wolf runs and 2 Evolving Wilds. Also, forgive me, guys, I'm not exactly a photographer, videographer, or any of those things, so this is probably some pretty shoddy camera work, so forgive me. So that is the so 23 total lands. Those Evolving Wilds are actually really important in this deck. Definitely help to even out the mana base, just because in the 3-color deck it can get difficult. Then moving on, we've got let's see if we can get these in focus. There we are. 3 Bonfire of the Damned and 4 Birthing Pods. Again, budget deck. 3 Bonfire of the Damned. It's pretty expensive right there. But anyways, moving beyond those, we have the creatures. Now the creatures really make up the meat of this deck. So I've got them organized by mana cost right here, as that's really what matters with the pod. So I've got 7 1-drops, 3 Llanowar Elves, and 4 Birds of Paradise. I've got 3 Strangleroot Geists and 4 Phantasmal Images. Those images are a huge part of this deck. They really help pull off the combos that make this deck so valuable. The 3-drop slot, I've got a Deceiver Exarch, which not a lot of people even know what that does. It lets you either tap down another permanent or untap a permanent that you control. I've got 3 Borderland Rangers. Focus that's better. 3 Borderland Rangers. Again, just evening out that mana base is so important in any 3-color deck. And an Ether Adept, which just bounces an opposing creature, or actually not an opposing creature, any target creature back to its owner's hand. The 4-drop slot, I've got 1 clone, just because another clone is always helpful. So I've got 1 in the 4-drop slot and then 4 in the 2-drop slot. So 1 clone, this is actually one of the places where I made a slight change to Jackie Lee's deck. She uses a Phyrexian Metamorph, but I had a clone laying around. The Phyrexian Metamorph does let you pay a Phyrexian mana for one of the manas. It's also a 4-drop, but it also lets you copy an artifact instead of just a creature. So clone is a bit of a lesser card, but I had 1 lying around, so I figured I'd use it instead of wasting money. 1 Tormentor Exarch, which gives a target creature +2/+0 until end of turn, or a target creature -0/-2 until end of turn. So another guy who's just great for picking off small opposing creatures. He's pretty helpful. A Solemn Simulacrum and 2 Huntmaster of the Fells. 5-drop slot's really where it starts getting interesting. Got a Thragtusk, the Value Beast himself. Got 1 Acidic Slime, 1 Zealous Conscript, and 1 Thundermaw Hellkite. The Hellkite is amazing for getting in there for damage, and I've had my butt saved by Conscript so many times, being able to snag an opponent's creature and then swing in with everybody. It's really helped me out a lot of times. And here at the 6-drop slot, focus this in a bit, we've got a Deadeye Navigator and an Inferno Titan. And Inferno Titan's just a great card, really good for that heavy hitter. But Deadeye Navigator is really where the combos start getting in. This guy paired with almost anybody in the entire deck is just incredible. Him paired with the Acidic Slime, you've got crazy land destruction. Him paired with Zealous Conscripts, and you can gain control of their entire team. They're every single permanent they own. Him with Thragtusk, and you've got token generation. Him with Ether Adept, you can bounce all their cards back to their hand. And him with Inferno Titan, you can just get a lot of burn. So you can just get so much value out of this one card. He really is amazing. Focusing, I guess, actually on his. You guys can read. Yes, that'll work. But anyways, if you don't know the card, as long as he's soulbound, he gets 1 colorless mana and 1 blue no mana that will flicker the creature that has it. So, moving over to the sideboard. The sideboard's kind of a joke at the moment because, again, I really haven't put any money into the sideboard. So I actually just kind of threw it together out of what I had. For instance, you've got 2 Ancient Grudges, 2 Crushing Vines, and an Incinerate. For sorceries, you've got 2 Arc Trails and 2 Switcheroos. Switcheroo is actually a pretty funny card, just because ability to give them some token and then grab one of their high drops and then watch their face as you pot it away is pretty amusing. And then for creatures, I've got another Ether Adept, just in case I'm really in the mood to bounce their stuff back to their hand, and 1 Phyrexian Ingester, which is actually a really great card. He's a 7-drop, so he's really not good unless you're potting into him, because he's a really expensive card to play out of hand. But so you can exile one of the creature that you control, a non-token, and he gets +X+Y, where it's the exiled creature's power and toughness. This guy, the main reason I have him is against Wolf Run ramp decks, because when they get that Titan out, you're able to use one of your clones or phantasmal images and essentially copy their Titan and then exile your Titan and imprint them on this guy to make this guy just even bigger. Really helpful. And then just to kind of fill out the last 4 slots of my sideboard, since I didn't have anything else to put in, I just threw in 4 lands. So kind of a joke, but I really need to finish the sideboard on this deck. But anyways, this deck's been doing me great. It's been doing really well in Friday Night Magics and such that I've been playing with. But I love the deck. It's great. And coming up next is going to be a game, some gameplay of it. So I'll see you guys there. Hey everybody, Tav here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a game I played on Cockatrice earlier with my Rug Pod deck. This is a great deck. I absolutely love it. If you've seen my deck tech already, you know the capabilities that this deck has is absolutely insane. So sadly, I'm only going to get to show you guys one game, not a full match. I actually just moved into college this week, so I've been having very little time to play online or really do anything of the sort. So I kind of just went on, played one game. The guy actually left after this game, so I didn't have the opportunity to finish out the match. But in my opinion, it's a really good game. I have a couple of misplays, but at the same time, it's a really close game. In my opinion, it was really exciting. So hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. So I'm going to win the die roll here. I'll go on the play. Not a huge fan of this hand, but I'm going to keep it anyways. Just because I've got a really good accelerated start. Really not much in terms of threats. I do have a Deceiver Exarch who will let me untap or tap down if my opponent starts getting really rushy. I can tap down one of his attackers with that flash. So I'll just start off. Play a forest, play a birds. Pass to him, he'll play a forest and pass it back to me. I actually draw another elf. Really not what I need right now, but I guess I can't complain with mana accelerators, mana dorks like that. So I'll tap both my lands and play the 2 elves and pass it back to him. So he's definitely, so let's see, he's playing green right now. He's going to play mountain, so I know he's definitely in green-red. Maybe some type of Naya, maybe a rug such as myself. Maybe he's playing some sort of ramp. He could be playing a Wolf Run deck. Wolf-Run Rug is actually really popular nowadays since they added that blue. It's become even more powerful. But he plays out a Dawn Treader Elk, which is honestly not a card I see too much, but you know, okay, if it fits the deck, I guess. So I'm gonna draw another land here, which really isn't what I need. I need to start generating some land, some action here. So I'm just gonna play my Rootbound Crag. Kind of just gonna kind of bluff just the straight green-red right now. I figure if I can avoid playing my blues right now, I might give him, you know, he might just be forced to play a little bit differently, thinking I'm going with more of a green-red aggro deck instead of the rug pod deck. Jeez, I can't talk today. Sorry, guys. The rug pod deck that I'm going with, anyways. So he'll just play his lands and tap out for a Wolf-Bitten Captive and an Ambush Viper, which is an odd play, seeing as how Ambush Viper is almost exclusively good for playing, you know, flashing it in when you're declaring blockers. So it's an odd play, but I'll take it. He's attacking with the Dawn Treader Elk. I'll happily take 2. I'm gonna draw another. And pull a Bonfire off the top. So I'm just going to tap for everything. And hit him for 5. Because I really don't have anything else to play. I'd rather save that Deceiver Exarch. There's no sense, you know, playing that now when I can wipe his whole board off the field. So I'm going to Miracle it for 5. Do 5 damage to him and clear off his board. You know, I'm really sorry, guys, about playing on Cockatrice. I mean, I know a lot of people have been saying in the comments and critiquing my my videos, saying that, oh, you know, he shouldn't be in the competition because he's not playing on Moto and blah blah blah. And you know, I mean, I'm sorry I'm not playing Moto, guys, but I mean, when you, I actually just started college this week. That's, I mean, I've just been so short on time. But as another thing that comes with college is a shortage of money, and you know, I just don't have the money to be building standard decks on Moto. Although I am thinking if I make it into the later rounds, I might actually do some Moto drafts. I might start up an account just for the purpose of giving you guys some limited play from me. But you know, building standard decks that I've already built in paper would just be insane to also build them on Moto. Anyways, he's gonna play his land for turn, and then bring out an Instigator Gang, which I believe gives +1/+0 to attacking creatures, and then also is a flip side. So after seeing that Wolf-Bitten Captive plus the Instigator Gang, I can pretty much guarantee you at this point that he's playing a Werewolf Tribal deck. Of course, you know, I know that now, but you know, I wasn't entirely sure, but you know, definitely that Instigator Gang confirmed it for me when I was playing the game. So I'm going to bring out the Geist here. I'm not going to attack with him just because I like to keep him. You know, I'd like to keep him if he attacks, because I mean, he was just going to block and just, you know, I wouldn't have even killed him. So it was completely pointless to attack with the Geist that turn. So he's going to bring out the Huntmaster. Gain 2 life, go up to 17, and then also get a wolf token. So Huntmaster right there is probably the most powerful card, probably the most powerful creature in his deck, I would be assuming, but or at least the most expensive, I can say that. Those guys are not cheap, at least in terms of, you know, the majority of the cards. They're not, you know, Bonfire, which is what, 45 now? Pfft, insane. But anyways, finally draw a Birthing Pod right here, clutch draw. So really glad I pulled that off the top. So tap 4, pay that Phyrexian cost just because I can. And it would be, I couldn't actually, if I the only other play, you know, I was originally thinking about was that what I'm actually doing is counting my mana to see if that was the right play. Could I have paid the cost for 3 for Birthing Pod,
left the 1 mana up, potted something, then played the Deceiver Exarch. But I believe that would be exact amount of mana. Yeah, 3, and then 3 for the Deceiver Exarch. That'd leave me with 1 mana left. I could have potted once, but then the Deceiver Exarch untaps my Birthing Pod, but I'm left with no mana to pod something else. So, anyways, I'm just gonna pod the Strangleroot Geist out. It comes back because of that Undying. I'm gonna bring in Ether Adept in, which will just bounce something back to his hand. I'm gonna bounce the Wolf so it destroys it. So I guess he's just trying to figure. Yeah, he was just figuring out what happened. Can get a little bit confusing with all the sacrifices and everything, the pod and the Strangleroot Geist bouncing back, but whatevs. So I'm gonna pass it off to him, and let's see what he does. Big thing that I want to try and do is, keep his, especially that Huntmaster, is keep that Huntmaster from flipping back and forth. I know a couple of times, once his Huntmaster's flipped once, he actually gets confused and thinks that he's able to flip it back, but since I was actually bringing creatures in merely off the Birthing Pod ability, I actually wasn't casting the spells, so I was able to keep him flipped over on one side and not let him gain that health and then flip back and deal the damage. I mean, it's really the strength of that Huntmaster is when you just keep going back and forth. So anyways, he's just going to play his land and pass. He's not even going to attack. I just create a token for him, give him the Ravager of the Fells. So both his things flip. So he's got the Wild Blood Pack, which gives +3/+0 to all attacking creatures, including itself, which is insane. And he's got that Ravager, which does 2 to me, and then he's going to do 2 to a Llanowar Elf. So I'm down 1 mana dork. I lose 2 life. I'm down to 16. He's at 17, and he's now got a 4/4 Trampler and I believe it's is it a 5? I can't see, 5/3 or a 5/5. That gives +3/+0 to everybody. So I draw a Borderland Ranger. But right now, I mean, the fact that he's a 5/5 +3/+0, which is and he's got trample. So I mean, that guy hurts. I really don't like him. So I'm gonna play my land, and I mean, I really just want to get that wild blood pack off the field because I don't like him. He's gonna deal way too much damage. So I'm going to tap my Elf in a forest, tap the Birthing Pod, sack the Llanowar Elf that I just tapped for the mana, and now I'm going to grab so I'm looking for a 2 converted cost, so I'm going to grab a Phantasmal Image, which will let me copy the Ether Adept and bounce his Wild Blood Pack right back to his hand. I definitely want to bounce the Wild Blood Pack, because if I bounce the Huntmaster, he just play it again and get 2 more health and another 2/2 Wolf token, which is really not what I want to do. So I'm gonna bounce that Wild Blood Pack back to his hand. And then I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play the Deceiver Exarch. So that's going to let me untap my Birthing Pod, and then sack something and pod another thing. Excuse me, sorry. I need a drink. So so I'm just going to sack, pay the 2 mana cost, and I believe I sacked the Image. First I'm thinking I'm going to sack the Deceiver Exarch, but then I actually just trying to debate to myself what would be the best thing to sack right now. But that Deceiver Exarch, despite being pretty much no use to me right now that he's already on the field, he is a 1/4, which makes him a semi-decent blocker, because I do have a feeling with this werewolf tribal deck, I mean, I am going to be on the defensive a few times, so that 1/4, I have a feeling will help. So anyways, I'm going to sack the image, which, because it was a copy of the Ether Adept, it takes on the Ether Adept's mana cost, so I get to sack it out and look for a 4 drop. So I'm going to grab a Huntmaster of my own, bump myself up 2 life, and get a wolf token on the field, and then end my turn. Now, yeah, here's where he actually thinks that I cast 2 spells that turn, since I got so many creatures on the board, but in reality I actually only cast the Deceiver Exarch. Now, the Huntmaster would flip back over to its day side if I had cast 2 or more spells, but I started off with potting out my my Llanowar Elf for the image, which doesn't count as a spell since it's all within the ability of the Birthing Pod. So it doesn't count as casting a spell. So I brought that out, then I played my Deceiver Exarch, which was 1 spell, which then and then I sacked the image to get the Huntmaster. So you can see in the chat here, if you guys can read it, he was just a little bit confused, but then he got it. So he flips it back over to the Ravager side, just to show that because he never really flipped, he took back the 2 life that he accidentally gained, and now he's going to start his turn. So this is partially the reason why I actually wasn't able to get you guys a full match, besides the fact that this guy AFK dropped right after the game was over. But in addition to it, I mean, this game took a fairly long time, but I mean, and really the main reason for that was because, I mean, in Cockatrice it's not that easy dealing with flip cards. I mean, later on when he starts getting a bunch of guys out there, he's needing to pull up all these different flip cards, adding all the different power toughness. So he's going to play a Mare of Averbrook here. Can't pronounce that. But he's got to deal with all the counters and everything. So, Cockatrice isn't that. I said it in my last video. It's not that advanced. So it it doesn't do all these things for you. So so you kind of got to do them all manually. So it takes a little bit longer. So he swings with just the Ravager here, and I'm honestly fine with just taking that. So I take the 4. He tries to tell me that it's 5, but Mare of Averbrook only gives +1/+1s to humans, and while the Huntmaster is a human werewolf on its day side, on its night side, it's only a werewolf, so he only does 4 damage there. So I'm going to draw another land, throw it into play. So I am sitting on a Borderland Ranger, which I can use as soon as I feel I need some sort of fatty out on the field. So his Ravager's tapped down from attacking, so all he's got is that 1/1 Mare. So looks like I'm going to be free to swing in here and hopefully deal some damage, and then maybe am I gonna pod something? I take that back. I guess I don't remember this play very well. Well, I'm going to pod out the Huntmaster and grab a Zealous Conscripts. Yep, that's right. Trying to figure out how much damage I could do here. I figured with the Mare being his only thing, I could just sack out that Huntmaster and do more damage by bringing out the Conscripts. Taking control of his Ravager, untapping him, gives him haste, and then attacking with just about everybody. I'm actually going to tap everybody except the Deceiver Exarch, and obviously leave my bird up. But I figure at least I'll have the Deceiver Exarch for a blocker. So I'm going to swing with all 5 of those, which is, what, a total of 6, 8, 11, 14 damage. He's going to block the conscripts. I don't know why he just tapped it, but he's going to block the conscripts and Titanic Growth it, which is not what I was hoping for. But so his Mare is now a 5/5. Is just going to downright smash my conscripts. But I'm going to still be doing 5, 7, 11 damage. Which, I'm fine with. I got my use out of my conscripts. So I'm happy with that. Excuse me. I don't know why I didn't bring a drink over here. Small dispute over how much damage he's taking, but he does take 11 just because, I guess, yeah, he didn't see the Geist, so he takes 11 from that blow. Now, main phase 2, I'm going to... Oh, no, I guess I'm not. Thought I was going to play the Borderland Ranger here, but give him back his Ravager and end the turn. Guess I'm still going to sit on that one card, just at least have something in hand. But I mean, overall, I love this deck. This deck is capable of just so many things. It's just the abilities that it has to solve any problem in so many ways is just incredible. Because it's just, in any one situation, if you have that pod out, you can pod for so many different creatures, and and pretty much every single creature has those ETB effects. So that when it comes into the battlefield, it does something that will just help you, get that one step closer to victory. So he's going to play an Instigator Gang, a Reckless, something, I can't even read it, and a Timberpack Wolf, and now he flips his Huntmaster back because he played 3 spells that turn, actually, which is surprisingly more than 2. Hey, math. So I'm going to draw another Bird of Paradise. Yeah, now he's starting to get those all those drops out, which is not very nice. I don't like that about that this werewolf deck. If you give it long enough, they're just going to start. They'll get all these creatures out, and the thing about the werewolf deck is every single creature has a frickin' plus something counter on all the other creatures, and it gets really overwhelming really quickly. So I really don't like all the creatures he's got out, but I'm gonna have to deal with them, I guess. But I think I'm considering right now if I was to pod a bird into a image, what would I'd probably copy that Deceiver Exarch, and what could I bounce back to his hand that would make the most effect on the game state right now. So play the Borderland Ranger anyways. I'm down to 0 cards in my hand, which kind of sucks because I'm playing off the top deck now, but I wanted to get that one more fatty out there just so that I am able to chump block something. Now, once again, I, for some reason, think, oh, hey, I'll pot away the Deceiver Exarch, and then I realize, no, wait, that's not smart. I like him as a 1/4 blocker, because it just gives me something a little bit more than that 2/2. Yeah, he's not going to kill anybody, but I'd rather keep the Borderland Ranger, or lose the Borderland Ranger, sorry, than lose the Deceiver Exarch. So I'm going to pod away the Borderland Ranger that I brought out. Now the Borderland Ranger, he does bring in basic land card to your hand. I actually just put it on the battlefield immediately from the library because I hadn't played my land for turn. So while I've been doing all this, he put little counters on everybody. That's from the mayor. He's got +1/+1 counters on his 4 human creatures. Now, actually, I can't see the text, so I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm gonna pot out my Borderland Ranger for a Huntmaster. My thinking here is that I really need a 4-drop on the field so that I can pot it into a 5-drop, because my 5-drops are really just where the game ends. I mean, the game is just, once I get to that 5-drop, and especially the 6-drop slot, those are my game enders. And again, this deck has just so much capability to do so many different things. I mean, it can go just straight up burn with, if you get into the card that really makes so many combos possible is Deadeye Navigator. That card that just gives you it's a soul bond, and when it's soul bonded with another card, both cards have the ability for 1 uncolored mana and 1 blue mana. You can just flicker the card. So with the cards, in this game that's got all the enter the battlefield effects, you can do some outrageous things. For example, pairing it with Thrag Tusk and just creating, getting a crap ton of life gain plus token generation. You can do it with Acidic Slime to go for land destruction. You can do it with Inferno Titan for just straight burn. You can do it with Ether Adept and just just bounce every single card back to their hand. It just Deadeye Navigator lets you do so many things. So he's going to Moon Mist here, which lets him flip every single one of his werewolf cards, which is not looking too good for me. I do have quite a few blockers on the field, but both the Wild Blood Pack and the Ravager have Trample, which is not good. I'm at 16 health here, but still not looking too good. Now, my opponent makes a misplay here, which is actually a fairly big deal. It actually really doesn't make that big a difference in the game, as you'll see in a little bit. But anyways, he does the 2 damage from the Ravager flipping to me, but he actually doesn't do it to one of my creatures. So he actually could have killed any of my blockers right here, except for the Deceiver Exarch. So that was a fairly big misplay on his part, but now here's the part where that really stinks, is now he has to individually change the power toughness of everybody, because it's really annoying. But yeah, so he's got that 2 creatures with Trample, the Wild Blood Pack that gives +3/+0 to all attacking creatures, which is brutal. And then he's got a Merciless Predator, a Howl Pack Alpha, a Timber Pack Wolf, and a Wolf token. So he's going to go into combat here, and he's going to swing with everything. So he's coming in, adding the 3. He's going to add the +3/+0 onto all the creatures. But each one right now has the +1/+1 from the mayor, which flips over to these. Yeah, that's the Howl Pack Alpha, which then gives +1/+1 to all werewolf and wolf creatures. So all of them have +1/+1, and are now getting +3/+0. So he's coming in for a lot of damage here. Really not nice. I mean, I'm only at 14 health, and I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's any way I can block, all these creatures. Now, my initial plan is, what I'm thinking here is, if I can leave my Huntmaster up, I'll be able to pod into a 5-drop, which would let me get off a something like a Thundermaw Hellkite, which would do, I mean, that's doing instantly 5 damage over the top flying, so that would probably put him down. I mean, obviously I'm going to need 3 more damage, but if I can get away with really almost anything, I'll be able to bring him down there, those last 3 points. So that's kind of what's going through my head right now when I'm making these blocks, is really, is there any way I can get by and block and live while keeping this Huntmaster alive? But I do have to remember that his Wild Blood pack and his Ravager both have trample. One's an 8-4, 8-5, I believe it actually. Yeah, it's supposed to be an 8-5. His Wild Blood pack's I believe a 9-6. So I mean, that's a lot of trample damage coming in. Plus he's got 4 other creatures, none of which have trample though. So I'm able to just chump block every single one of those. So I'm going to block with my Deceiver Exarch, my Wolf, both my Wolves, and my Birds of Paradise on the 4 creatures without trample. I'm going to actually leave the Wild Blood pack unblocked, because I'm going to double block his Ravager, because even though his Ravager is going to get through for a little bit of damage, I am going to be able to kill it, with using one of my 2/2s and using my 3/2 Geist, I'm able to do that 5 damage to take out the Ravager, and then use the other 4 creatures that are not Huntmaster FLs to take out, to chump block his other 4. So now I'm taking 9 from the Wild Blood pack, and I'm taking, let's see, I'm blocking, what am I blocking? I'm blocking 2, 4 off the 8 damage, Ravager. So I'm going to take 9 from the Wild Blood, and then 4 from the Wild Blood, so 9 plus 4 for a grand total of 13 damage. So I'm down to 1 life, so cutting it pretty close here. Those guys die. Those guys die. Now I still have a bird left, and I still have my Huntmaster left. Now, of course, I'm thinking right now as I pass my turn, there are a couple of cards that would really get me out of this pretty poor situation. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is one of them. Bonfire of the Damned, right off the top, Miracle. I'm going to be able to... Now, let's see. I want to leave up at least the birds, or at least I want to leave up 2 mana. Because if I can leave up 2 mana, I can pay that Birthing Pod cost and pod out the Huntmaster for some instant 5 damage. Now, he doesn't have any cards in hand, but so I really could have actually just attacked with the... actually, no, sorry. Because I'm Bonfire. Oh, I could Bonfire for... I mean, I'm doing it for 5 right now. I could have done it for 2 extra. So that'd be for 6, 7. Bring him down to 1, then just swing with the Huntmaster. Since he's entirely tapped out and has 0 cards in hand, there's actually no way he could block. So that actually would have finished him off right there. But the way I do it is I tap 6 to Bonfire for 5, and then I'm going to tap 2, do the Birthing Pod in a Thundermaw Hellkite, just because I like the added security of having a flyer. I think my original thoughts were going something like, what if he has an Ambush Viper? But of course, 0 cards in hand, there's really absolutely nothing he can do. So he takes 5 damage from the Bonfire, 5 damage from the Thundermaw Hellkite, and that is game. That is GG right there. So, pretty good game in my opinion, to be able to go from completely overwhelmed with those attackers on that last turn, when he just had everybody flipped from the Moon Mist, and then everybody attacking and swinging at me. It was it was pretty scary, but the way I was able to pull off of the blocks just so that I could have enough life to go through with the next turn and swing for lethal. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think in a lot of ways this showed off how capable Rug Pod is of winning games, but I hope you guys like the deck. I hope you guys enjoy the videos, and please, if you can go to the mtgnoob.com and vote for Tav, it would be hugely appreciated. Well, I think that's it, so signing off. Have a good night, guys.